I'm going to walk you through integrating New Relic with the open source load testing tool K6. To get started, we've put together a results visualization guide for how to integrate New Relic and K6. And the first step is to run this Docker command. So you need to have Docker in your machine, and then you pull the New Relic statsd image, and all we have to provide to it is our New Relic account ID and the API key. And how to get that information is if you go to one.newrelic.com, if you click on your Gravatar icon in the top right, if you click on API keys and click on create key, and then we can pick our account, and here we have our account ID. On key type, if we pick ingest license, and then we give our key a name and any notes, then we can click on the ellipsis and we can click on copy, and our key will be in our clipboard. So now if we copy and paste this docker run command into our terminal and we populate it with the account ID and the insert key, we'll have a listening New Relic statsd integration. And I can check it's up and running by running docker ps. And I can see that there my integration is ready and listening. So now we can get on with running the K6 test. So we do this in the normal way of running K6 run. In addition, we put out statsd. And this is how it looks on my machine. K6 run out statsd, and then the name of my test is test.js. If I hit that, we can see that the output is going to statsd, which is localhost port 8125, which is where my New Relic statsd integration is running. So if I go into New Relic and I go home, I can click on query your data. And inside of here, we're going to see metrics are being sent to New Relic, and they're going to be appended with K6. So in the metrics explorer now, I can see all of my K6 metrics that are making the way to New Relic. And in particular, I can see that my checks are making its way to here as well. So I can see the amount of passes that are happening within my test. And this is coming from the K6 test that I've defined earlier. So here, all of my tags are going to be making its way through. I also have a helper script, which we've put in the link below, and which has just some metadata for the test that's running. And here I can see my checks. So status is 200 and contain the header. So if we go in here, I can see K6 check contains the header. And if I just type in K6.check, I can see that these metrics are all coming through. So if I go back to the home page of my account, and if I click on my pre-prepared dashboard, here I can see a visualization of all of my metrics, and at the right hand side I've put together a list of the metrics that are available. What I'm also doing in my test is I'm putting together the K6 metrics side by side with some of my metrics from APM. So here I can see my virtual users alongside the requests per minute as they're coming in, and on the application impact screen I can see a histogram of my metrics, I can see the virtual users, and if I scroll down I can see the K6 user agent is being picked up by New Relic distributed tracing, and I can compare the errors with real users versus the K6 user agents. If I click into New Relic APM, because I'm using the helper script, and if I click into my Node Workshop app, I'll see on the sidebar over here that I'm getting a deployment marker to tell me that the load test is happening. And in the left-hand side navigation screen, if I click onto deployments, and because I ran a few tests earlier, if I click into one of these tests, I have a report that is automatically generated. So here I can see the application impact of my K6 test, and I can visualize this inside of New Relic. I can get a change log, which is any metadata that I pass in through the helper script. And if I look at change reports, I can look at the report of this load test compared with other load test deployments that I've sent in. Thanks a lot for viewing, and I hope you find the integration useful. If you need any help, you can reach out to us on discuss.newrelic.com.